Hello everyone, Spiritual Lessons here. It's taken me a while to make this video because I was trying to compile as much information as I could to talk about it in a full video before making the video, and I also made it during a time when I didn't really feel like making videos, and I'll have my up and down days. And some new information just came in. So you may recall my investigation into the One. I also worked with Cerridwen, who is a goddess who I believe was once a real sorceress years and years ago. There's not much information on her personal life. It's like things that I had to get from astral projection and focusing on her life. She received an incredible power from an unremarkable source. So I'm going to show you all the information I have here, and plus some new information that just came into my mind. Okay, so the date of birth that I got for her was 668 AD. And her death year, 868, which would have made her 200 years old. Which I believe it. I believe someone like her could have attained a long life. I remember asking her if, she wanted to ever be immortal. She did not. But I was like, not everyone wants immortality. Former palace life. One legend is that many years ago, she was the wife of Tegid Fool, who was a tyrant king. A harpist had a premonition about a great flood that would sink his kingdom and attempted to warn him, but he did not listen. And before long, a great rain washed away his city and drowned it. It killed all of his court. His entire court was drowned during the event. And his wife was named Cerridwen, so that would mean that she was at one point a queen. And now, every time I've seen her, she's lived by Bala Lake in a very small hut with a little farm. So it's like, how could she be a queen but live on a farm? So I'm thinking that the things that I saw was after the fact of the flood. Now, I do feel like Bala Lake has some sort of energy to it. It's a very old lake. It was, prehistoric. However, I don't think it used to be as deep as it is now. And there's actually legends that there is a city underneath. I don't know if that is true or not, but those are legends associated, which would corroborate the legends that I have heard through my research. And if you guys see me looking this way, I have all my information on my computer and I'm just trying to read it. So I always see her on a small farm, with a small hut, and, she lives right next to Bala Lake. So that would have been where her former home was. She chose not to leave. But I never see her husband and I never see her children. So I would assume that either her husband survived and they parted ways, or he drowned and she survived, because probably her intuition allowed her to know beforehand, unlike him who was stubborn. I was not able to get direct information on that, but I never see him. But she supposedly lived on the farm with her family, although you never hear in the legends about her husband living on the farm with her. So I'm assuming they either parted ways or he did not survive the flood. Personality. She is very quiet, never speaking too much, but she's also been shown to be very friendly and informative. When I ask her questions, she gives answers about her life, straightforward. And even about her power, the power that she received, she has been very open to me about that. She is very kind. However, in legend, she is shown to have a fiery temper when provoked. But she is usually known to be a non-violent person. Her appearance. Her skin is porcelain and flawless. You never see any blemishes. She has very white, smooth skin, very supple. Black wavy hair, and she's at least 6 feet tall. She's a very tall woman. She's always seen wearing a black cloak that is many times longer than her own body. Underneath, she wears a black ostentatious dress like that of a noblewoman, which would make sense if she was once a noblewoman herself. I would assume her age is between 30 or possibly even 40 years old, but she always appears to be a younger woman, so I would assume early 40s at most and mid 30s at the least. Awen. Okay, so Awen is said to be the spark of life and the source of creative inspiration. It's also said to be a very divine power from high above, like God. I'm sorry, guys. She told me of a story where a bard had come to her for medical aid, and she was able to provide that and help him heal. And he had divulged a secret from the Order of Bards, how they utilized Awen and how to access her. And from what she told me, that Awen is not a energy or spirit that you talk directly to. You just listen, because it's inside of you. It's inside your heart. And I have had a few attempts to work with Awen, and some successful, some unsuccessful, but most of them have been successful. He gave this information to her as a reward for her abilities and to help him heal. The bard claimed that Awen was a force within all of us that you can call upon to do incredible things, both good and evil. I can assume that, everyone can manifest this power naturally and oftentimes unknowingly. It took her quite a bit of time to learn how to properly harness the power of her inner Awen. And based on the vision I had of Cerridwen, when she told me the story, she did not learn about Awen until after the flooding of her home. So it was after the fact. The abilities and skills that I have come to know her, to know of her that she has: levitation. She has levitated before me, often above Bala Lake. She has extensive knowledge of herbs and potions. She is able to shapeshift. She can raise the energetic frequency of others like she did with me, and that's how I was able to get up to the one's attendant at that one point. I did say immortality and or prolonged life. However, she did die as a physical woman, so I would assume it wasn't immortality but prolonged life. Heightened senses, the ability to speak to higher powers through her own Awen, and the power of change and transformation, whom she is now the goddess of. She may have more that I don't know about, but these are the abilities that I have actually seen her use and or have had legends told about her. The cauldron. So one staple of the legends about Cerridwen is the cauldron of Awen, which had the power of transformation. There was a legend where she used it to make a potion that took a year to make, had many different types of ingredients, had to constantly be stirred and watched after for an entire year. And whoever drank only 3 drops from this potion would have the power of creative inspiration and basically Awen's powers, which would make them equal to Cerridwen. And it only took 3 drops. If you drank any more than that, you would die because it was poison. And there was a legend about one of the farmhand's sons who she hired to keep stirring the potion. where 3 drops spat from the cauldron onto his finger, and he sucked on it to soothe it from the pain of the heat. And he unintentionally gained the powers. And then after that, the cauldron of Awen busted because the rest was corrosive and toxic, which is very interesting. And unfortunately, she was making it for her son, who was incredibly ugly. He was deformed. And she was trying to give him poetic inspiration and possibly the power to change his own look so that he would be more accepted by society and also be seen as probably the most insightful and wise person of his time. But unfortunately, it was not like that, and her chances were ruined. Which Cerridwen seemed to spend a lot of her time after the flood by Bala Lake, which was the site of her former home. I get a sense that there was some heartbrokenness, like homesickness to it. Like, she did not want to leave the spot where she once knew happiness. Not to mention Bala Lake is a freshwater lake, so it's always good to settle near fresh water. But I feel like she did still have a connection to it, despite her husband being a tyrant king. She still missed her home and possibly the people in it. She has an extensive knowledge of herbs and potions, which I have a feeling came from her inner Awen, provided this information. And I got the feeling that many people who could not afford a doctor's care at that time, I have a feeling that they came to her for aid. She showed me this as well, because she didn't really charge people a whole lot to do it like healers and doctors would at the time. So she provided cheap yet effective medical care to people using her herbs and serums. She would often perform rituals close to or even in the lake sometimes, is what I got from her, usually during the light of a full moon or a harvest moon. I feel like that's where she had incredible power and she knew how to use it. Now, this isn't certain, although she may have even been the one responsible for causing the flood upon the Wicked King and his court. And like I said, I don't have any proof of this, but considering that she was a good woman and her husband was a tyrant king, it's possible that maybe she did have knowledge of witchcraft and magic, and maybe she did do something to influence the flood. Now, Taliesin, I don't know if I said that right. Taliesin. So the potion of Cerridwen that she had made for her son, unfortunately was accidentally consumed by the farmhand's son named Gwion. And once she found out that this had happened, she was pissed. So she, with a fiery look in her eyes, she chased down Gwion, and he used the power of Awen to transform into certain animals to get away from her. And she would change into an animal that was higher on the food chain to chase after him. And the final thing that he turned into was a grain. It was a strand of wheat, and she became a hen and started eating the wheat, and she ate him. And then he went into her stomach and became a newborn baby. And her plan at the time was to give birth to him and then kill him because of what she had taken away from her own son. But she couldn't because he was a newborn baby and she had that mother-child bond. So instead, she decided to put him in a basket and send him down the river, where he was picked up by some local villagers, and he became Taliesin, who was one of the most inspirational bards of all time. Because he had the power of Awen, thanks to the potion. He was good looking, he was talented, he was creative, and he was well liked by everyone. Now, I did say that there was some new information that just came into my head. So I was thinking about other gods around that time. One of them who I've worked with previously in the past was Rhiannon, who was a Welsh goddess of justice and politics. She was supposedly a white witch, and also her name also meant Great Queen. And there are legends about her. I don't know all of them by heart, but she did suffer a grave injustice, and eventually she was proven innocent, but, you know, she is a goddess. I kind of have a feeling she was based off a real person, too. Whether or not, like, some details were changed, I don't know, but I kind of have a feeling that Cerridwen and Rhiannon have a relationship. They know each other. Whether it was between her as a physical woman and a goddess, or maybe they knew each other in the physical life as physical people, and maybe they were friends. Maybe they knew each other, because, you know, Cerridwen was once a queen. Rhiannon was once a queen. Yes, once. She was banished. And I'm not going to get into the whole legend, but, you know, she was accused of something she didn't do, and she was banished, and eventually it was found out, you know, about the injustice done, and her name was cleared. But I just got this into my head. I don't know how or why or what sent it to me, but I just thought about it, and I feel like her and Rhiannon know each other on some level. I don't know what that relationship is, but I have a feeling that they do know each other, and perhaps even knew each other in the same lifetime. I will provide more information when I get more information. But I wanted to, I totally forgot to make a video about all these clues that I gathered about Cerridwen. And these were based on my astral journeys and my psychic intuitions. And I have not worked with astral projection or my psychic self for a long while. This was some time ago that I made this, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I did think it was interesting, and I thought you would find it interesting as well. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye now.